What's up guys, Tommy Bennett here, and today we're gonna talk about safety and some quick tips that's gonna make your day way more awesome. So let's get right into it. Driving. Alright, so the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is spatial awareness. Now, imagine we're driving down the highway. We're going 70 miles an hour because we're mobbing. We got to get somewhere to go. And now, if we're just taking our car and we're driving our steering wheel and we're just zigzagging wherever we want, well, we're putting our own lives at jeopardy as well as the people around us. So it's extremely important that we are knowing where other people are. So you got to constantly be looking downhill. Of course, right? We got to know where we're going. But in addition to that, do we know where people are uphill? So you'll see me constantly, like, I almost kind of look spastic a little bit because I'm always looking around. I'm looking uphill to see where the people are. I'm also looking beside me over my left and right. And of course, as snowboarders, we do have blind spots. So make sure that you're constantly checking that blind spot. Now, it's very important that you guys have your spine more of an upright position. You're using your knees to be nice and flexible and have the ability / agility to ride. But that also comes into the spatial awareness because if I'm up here, it's really easy to swivel around. Now, if I take my head and my shoulders and I point them towards the ground, now my field of vision is really hard because now I'm like got my little blinders on. It's really hard to see. So I want to keep my spine upright, my eyes up, and I want to be looking around. This body position actually helps you become better at spatial awareness because you're able to look around and have that ability versus just staring at the ground and being locked to the ground. Cool, that's gonna be the first thing. On your first run, what I like to do is get some turns in and start to feel how I'm feeling. Like, I gotta be aware, is my body feeling responsive, is it not? And then I just like to like build it up, and just every trick I do or every turn I take, I'm evaluating like how I'm feeling. So make sure you're like building up, you're easing into it, and you're getting your body ready for the day. So this is how I kind of build it up.
Another thing about that first run is you're also feeling out the snow conditions. You know, you read the snow report, but really, what does it feel like? What does that run feel like? Is it firm? Is it soft? You know, don't blow out your edge and go sliding into the trees on your first turn because you didn't check what the snow felt like.
That's such a good point. Already I noticed the snow feels really soft, so it makes me want to carve and do some butters. But if it's super icy, I'm probably not gonna do that. And I'm gonna change my tactic based on what happens here. All right, let's get it. So a lot of times when we're snowboarding and as snowboarders, we do a lot of freestyle, right? We kind of just make it up as we go. But you'll notice that I love using my hands as blinkers. Essentially, as we're making that turn in there, I'll just wave that way and indicate where I'm going so people have an idea. If I'm slowing down, if I'm stopping, I'm making turns, they have some idea of what the heck's going on, so I don't just sporadically stop, get ran into, or cut someone off. So those non-verbal communications with random strangers is super important, especially if you're gonna be traversing across the run and going this way. Also, sometimes while we're in the park, it gets a little chaotic. I'll just give them the, you know, the quick like go ahead and have that communication. Also, when you're dropping into a feature, you wanna have that non-verbal communication of like, oh yeah, you can go, or I'll go, or nod at each other, so that you guys can just have that communication so we're not running into each other. Last thing I want to do is have two people run into each other and not be able to snowboard that day or that season, who knows. So making sure that we're pointing where we're going, especially if you have a filmer. I like to tell my filmer what the heck is going on, because I want my filmer to be kind of close to me to get the shot, but I also want to, you know, not jeopardize my riding. So I'll just tell him like, I'm slowing down, I'm going over there, I'm doing this. So try to do that the best that you can. Awesome. Another thing that I like to talk about is the people you ride with can really dictate the day. So make sure you're riding with some people that are super fun, that are super aware and have those spatial awarenesses, but somebody you want to go ride with. Me personally, I do not like riding by myself. It's not fun to me. Even if I put music on, all that stuff, I like interacting with people, I like that. So make sure you're riding with people that you are stoked to ride with. That's a big deal. Hello, sir. All right, guys, so after you're playing around, doing some tricks, having the sickest day ever, you might need a break. So it's super important that you're choosing the right places to stop. You're gonna notice in this position right now that I'm actually stopping while looking uphill so that I can casually glance and look around and see where people are. But there's a little bit more to it. So I got my buddy Easy here. So if you guys want to follow him on Instagram, it's going to be up there. Easy is a super sick certified instructor at Breckenridge, such a boss, and he's going to give us some more information on when it comes to where should we be stopping. What up, dog?
Good morning. So as you can see behind me, everyone coming down the run can see us. We're not invisible from above. So you always want to be in a spot where people coming down the run can clearly see you, and you're also not in the way blocking like an entrance to another run or the entrance to the park, things like that.
Pretty important stuff, right? So I love what he said about stopping in a good place. Now, you may want to hug the tree line. Well, if you give yourself a little bit of space from the tree line, that's pretty important because people might want to ride the tree line or they might be jumping out of the tree line. So that's super important too. And then another thing that Easy brought up a little bit earlier was you're going to see that there's these trees right here. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so you might be tempted to stop below a tree island, but that sort of puts you in an invisible spot where somebody that might just be enjoying turns and cutting around the edge of the tree island might get surprised that you're sitting there.
And that's it. Like, you're sitting there around the corner, I'm ripping a carve, and all of a sudden there's people there. I don't know if I have time to stop, right? So make sure you're stopping in a good spot. Pretty important to stay safe, stay alive, and have the sickest day ever. All right, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you snowboard, it's a low light day. So what I like to do is I like to think about taking my belly button, getting a little bit lower and being in a more athletic position so that I can just handle the terrain underneath me. Sometimes I can't see that weird bump or that weird roller, but if I'm in a position that's just naturally gonna absorb that or passively handle it, then that's gonna be really good so you can stay in contact with the snow. Obviously, you can change your goggles and have different lenses. I personally am pretty low maintenance when it comes to lenses. I just ride the same goggles every single day. So it's totally just a tactic that I use is I get low and I try to handle the terrain as much as possible so I don't get bodied. Also, if you can't see, take things slower. If you're mobbing 100 miles an hour, it's gonna be really hard to react to that stuff. So take it slow as much as you need to. Totally okay to do that. Adjust your riding depending on the light conditions, how you're feeling, and the conditions on the snow. Easy, got anything to add to that?
So nowadays, people sell goggles with easy to change lenses. So I am particular with being able to see. So on flat light days or even like half cloudy days, I generally prefer the low light lenses just so I can see well. However, when I'm out teaching all day on a bright sunny day, I get a headache from the sun. So on those days, I wear my blackout lenses where they are super dark just to make sure that I don't get a headache from being out in the sun all day. So you definitely, need to make that decision based on what the weather is supposed to be like. But like Tommy said this morning, we came out and it was sunny and I was like, uh-oh, I hope I didn't make the wrong, decision on my lens. But then also, maybe keep a backpack down below or go back to your car so that you're not uncomfortable all day and go switch out those lenses.
In addition to that, guys, make sure you guys stay hydrated. Make sure you guys get food. I snowboard so much better if I am not hungry. If I've gone to the bathroom, I've eaten food, I'm feeling good. Guess what? Easy's got food and
water and snacks.
Dude.
Who doesn't love snacks and a little bit of water when you're thirsty?
That's actually so clutch. So I talked about that. I didn't even know that. So something that he has done, whether he knows it or not, he has a jacket with ginormous pockets. So that when he does stuff, in his pockets that it doesn't feel bulky. You want big pockets where things can sit naturally around your body without feeling weird. And then if you're like crunching over, doing airs or landing, that it's not impeding you. Sometimes I ride with a GoPro and the stick of the GoPro jams into my ribs, so I have to wear a certain jacket that allows me to have room so the GoPro doesn't stab me. So make sure you're using the right jacket. This is a AK Gore-Tex jacket. It's super sick. I rock a Patagonia puffy, just my style. But make sure you're getting the right gear. And then if you're wearing stuff or you're bringing stuff with you, make sure you have some big pockets. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Woo. So I get this question asked all the time. Some of you guys are dealing with foot pain, and how do we prevent that? So I want to talk about strapping in and setting ourselves up for success in the day. So one of the first things that I love to do as I'm strapping in, I like to have my front of my body facing uphill. And the reason why is I can dig my heel side edge in. Now, as I apply pressure, as I just try to simply strap in, all of a sudden there's all this pressure going into the snow and helping me stay up. If I'm on the other side, it's really easy for me to lean back, and then I put pressure on the high back and then I slip out, and it's not fun. So if I strap in this manner, it actually makes strapping in, standing up so much easier. And then as I want to strap in, I can get my foot in, I can sink down, bend over, and I don't have to worry about balancing as much. Now, in addition to that, a lot of you guys or a lot of people deal with foot pain, and sometimes the issue may be where your toe strap is actually hanging out. So sometimes you guys may be strapping in like this, but then you have your toe strap on top of your foot, on top like this. Now what that does is you have your arch of your foot, you're applying pressure, squishing that foot, and that actually may be causing a lot of pain because you're applying pressure to the bone up here, or you're flattening your foot out. The most ideal in a lot of the new binding technology will have the toe strap actually sit in front just like this. So you'll see that now the toe strap is slightly pushing my foot down, but more so it's pushing my foot back to the heel strap. So that makes it so there's less pressure on here, but more pressure on the toes. In addition, if you want to get really good at strapping in, this is really sick. Put your heel strap halfway, toe strap halfway, double crank. Boom. That literally takes like no time at all. So that's a little information about strapping in. I know it's super basic, but hopefully that helps you a lot. Boom. Easy's gotta go, I gotta go. So I simply wanted to say thank you to Easy. That was amazing.
Thank you, Tommy.
Woo! So if you guys are loving the content, make sure you guys subscribe, give it a thumbs up. More importantly, did I miss anything? If I did, comment down below. And I got some hoodies that are gonna be linked down below. I also have some stickers. And then also, by the way, I have a free PDF of a trick list. So if you're struggling with what trick to learn next, or what tricks that you need, like you're not sure what tricks to learn, I have a free PDF that's gonna be linked down below. You simply give me your email address, and you got this whole printout of a bunch of tricks, which is gonna help you. It's gonna prevent you from getting bored. All right, guys. Oh, see, we just got some more friends. Woo! Woo! On that note, we out, guys.